Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. We have some breaking news when it comes to Trump's immunity claim that is, I would say, a SCOTUS victory for Donald Trump. We're going to go ahead and talk about it now. And here are, as you know, the controversy on once again, what Donald Trump is saying, which I'm saying, going to tell you, it's legitimate, okay? A lot of people say, but beginning at when I heard this claim, I'm like, I don't know. Like, just because you're the president doesn't mean you can do whatever you want, right? No one's above the law. However, Donald Trump does have a point. Like, his whole entire presidency, the liberal media weaponized everything from, once again, the suckers and losers comment, and once again, the Syrian refugee ban, quote unquote, along with the border wall. And they wanted to impeach him. They impeached him over a phone call with very little evidence, and it's an historically embarrassing impeachment. It took literally a phone call to embarrass. I mean, as you know, indict Trump on that circumstance. So basically, the point is, you can't go after people. You have to have a good reason, a good enough reason to indict. And the question is, this is why I'm saying, all right, Trump has some immunity when it comes to being the president. Joe Biden has some immunity when it comes to being the president. And that is during diplomatic and, as you know, foreign diplomatic policies, not even just diplomatic, but presidential policies in general. Because the president should not be worried about getting indicted, right? We need the president to be more concerned about doing his or her job, right? The president needs to be concerned about doing his job, doing the right thing, and instead of getting, because as you know, in today's society, we are very divided. Doesn't matter what you do, there are going to be people that like it, there are going to be people that hate it. And you could say this doesn't affect the popularity rating because you have 100% a side that's 100% loyal to you, and then there's a side that 100% is against you. There is literally in no between. So, and really very few people. So, when it comes to immunity, presidents do have the right to enact policies that could be illegal or in, illegal or criminal if a private citizen did it. An example: former President Barack Obama's drone strikes in Libya killed multiple American citizens. We could technically right now take Obama to trial and hold him and possibly indict him for for murder or capital murder or something like that, for murder or the misuse of federal property. However, Donald Trump is doing Obama a favor. And I'm not saying the Republicans are weak. Like, they wouldn't even take Obama. They wouldn't even impeach this guy for killing U.S. citizens during the Libya conflict. He they just like, oh well, they're neocons. It happens. No, he technically, citizens died under these drones. It was an accident. He didn't mean to, because once again, these drones don't know what they're shooting at, and you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. So obviously it's an accident. He didn't go and shoot, but obviously, even in accidental cases, you can still be found guilty, right? You can still be found guilty. There have been multiple people that have been found guilty of accidentally killing people, right? That didn't know. But yeah, the fact is, it was yours and you used it, right? So that was an example, one example. So technically, the presidential immunity, when it comes to foreign policy, like if this Supreme Court was to say, yes, Donald Trump in this case, when it comes to the insurrection, the January 6th insurrection, how does this mean policy ways? Well, let's see. Donald Trump did everything. He failed to send the National Guard. Reality, I'll tell you, he should have sent the National Guard regardless, instead of asking people what to do. But in the end, he came out and slammed it. He condemned it and said this wasn't right. And he openly condemned the people that did it. He's not trying to get them out of jail, get these people out of jail. He's not trying to, he could possibly pardon them. He didn't even do that. The fact was, Donald Trump, this was very comparable to Barack Obama's strikes when it comes to the Libya strikes, having killed U.S. people. There is the allegedness, we could say right now, Republicans could say, Barack Obama was intentionally going after these people, these American citizens. While, yeah, we could technically say that and make up proof, same thing goes with the January 6th insurrection. Democrats and liberal Trump haters say Trump was calling on a descending insurrection on the Capitol on January 6th. What did he say? Go and fight, right? Go and fight. I don't know his exact words, but he said, go over there and fight. They suddenly apply that to the insurrection. Now, guess what? To those people who actually literally thought that Donald Trump meant go over there and physically fight and destroy the property of the Capitol, he didn't mean that. Because Donald Trump said those terms and words before in previous times, right? And plus, we seem to forget that there were as you know, agent provocateurs who were, once again, setting this up. Agent provocateurs that were literally baiting these people into the Capitol. Right? It was a setup. They fell for the trap. But we aren't going after these agent provocateurs, even though they were the ones that were instigating an insurrection. Yeah, it's not a British company, but that is such a thing. Basically, an agent provocateur is someone who commits or who acts to entice another person or persons in this case, to commit an illegal or rash act, or falsely implicates them in partaking in an illegal act. So as to ruin the reputation or entice legal action against the target or a group they belong to or perceive to belong to. These individuals who baited, they were, as you know, they dressed up as it, once again, as police or Capitol guards, kind of luring them in. Come over here, go in there, pointing the directions, and there you go. You have a chaotic fight. All you got to do is do some couple moves. You don't know these people, and to see how riled up these people are, I'm not surprised they acted so chaotically. In the end, yes, these people committed an act of violence, but are we going to condemn those people who instigated and basically lured and told some people to do it? Nope. They get off the hook because they're anti-Trump Democrats. This is what I'm talking about, guys. If you don't know about agent provocateurs and what they are, and the provocateurs that have actively spoken out and applauded the January 6th insurrection and what they did, you probably are listening to MSNBC, CNN, PBS, and ABC News. Fake news, emotionally run media. If we are going to investigate the January 6th insurrection, a very important event in American history, and the Democrats want to talk about it, okay, let's talk about it. But we need to look at it at a broader scale, right? A broad scale. We need to open up the book and see the facts abroad. That means releasing all camera footage from that day. But they don't want to do that. Nope, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. I can guarantee you the provocateurs are in that footage. B, they don't want to ruin the narrative. They like the narrative that Republicans or Trump supporters out of the blue assaulted and allegedly killed people at the Capitol and broke windows and damaged property. They don't want to change or alternate that view. They don't want it. So really, they don't want to talk about, they don't want to explore January 6th. They want to exploit January 6th. Exploit it and project what the Republicans, or whatever you want to call them, Trump supporters or Trumpers, did that day. They're exploiting it. It's a projection. They're projecting it, and they're saying, oh, we're finding out they do this. And they project things if it goes into their favor. Like the example, oh, look, this guy was taking down the American flag and replacing it with a Trump flag. Right? Why does that matter? Dude, how many times in left-wing rallies have you guys burned American flags? Torched American flags. How many property damage has been caused in left-wing riots all in 2020, of the summer of 2020, the George Floyd riots? How many? How much property damage? Add that up to the January 6th property damage. I will tell you, it's 60% more money down the drain on the damage cost in George Floyd riots than insurrection riots. But we don't care, right? We don't care because it doesn't affiliate with the narrative. And when it comes to the left-wing media, we don't want to talk about things that make us look bad. Sometimes we'll have to bring it up, but that's so we don't look bad, so we don't get exposed for not talking about it. Right? The reason why the left didn't condemn the media didn't condemn the violence taking place in the summer of 2020 was the narrative was in favor of Black Lives Matter. Right? Everyone felt bad for Black Lives Matter, for George Floyd and his family. So therefore, there was more people that felt bad for George Floyd than were angry about the riots. So why condemn something that people don't really feel much emotion to? Number one, they can get away with it. So yes, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the map. I'm tired of looking at the sites and links, but yes, but this is what the Supreme Court is essentially saying. The Supreme Court is stumped, okay? Because they know Trump is somewhat right. The president should do a good job and not worry about indictments. Barack Obama shouldn't worry about worry about drone strikes and thinking, oh, is it going to take the life of an American citizen, or is it going to take the life of Americans? And worrying that a group of prosecutors are going to take him to trial because of that. He shouldn't have to worry about that. The president is supposed to do what he can through his rightful gut to lead the country, right? Same thing with Donald Trump. Donald Trump spoke out. He did something in January 6th. This was unexpected. It was a situation, and he was in like, I don't know what to do mode. Ideally and critically, he should have sent the National Guard immediately. He didn't do that. Nancy Pelosi allegedly said, don't send the National Guard. It's too late. Of course she did. Because once again, we don't want Trump to send the National Guard. That makes him look good, right? And that takes away the fun, where that takes away and ruins half of the narrative that Donald Trump told his supporters to go and riot at the Capitol. So of course Nancy Pelosi said, don't send the Guard. I don't know if she actually said that. I've heard mostly she did. But it doesn't matter. Donald Trump is the president. Donald Trump should have sent in the Guard, right? So there's that. I will tell you, Donald Trump's situation, ideally and realistically, is going to be much harder. Because, once again, he's saying he was president when that happened, and he told his so-called supporters allegedly to storm the Capitol. He didn't go and say, go and storm the Capitol. He didn't say that. He said, go over there and fight. Okay? And the Democrats, they love to twist their words. Oh, he actually meant physically. Well, it looks like some of his, I don't even think some of the supporters did too. If he didn't add that line in there, they would still go after him and call him a traitor, because that's how the left programs. Jeez, they don't tell the truth. The left got very lucky, and he happened to add a very, very catchy line in there that happened to turn a narrative that everyone believed against him. The left looked out. Didn't even have to say much. And when it comes to the left indicting Trump on that, he's indicted for inciting insurrection. And there's also the indictment when it comes to denying election results. I hate to break it to you guys who actually think Trump did something wrong about saying that he actually won. Guess what? As an American, the president, the incumbent president, the presidential candidate nominee, and the American people have the right to deny and object election results. You don't like it? Too bad. Cry about it. But because since 2000, we have had people that have denied election results. Al Gore denied election results after Bush was projected winner. He tried one more attempt to possibly, he was trying to try one more attempt to convince the government that he legitimately won and that the state needs to recount due to the hanging chads, right? Al Gore is an election denier. Where's his prosecution? John Kerry, same thing. He think Bush didn't legitimately win the election. John Kerry is an election denier. Hillary Clinton brought up Russian collusion. You really have to, like, literally. That's probably the most unique, once again, the most unique accusation. Hillary Clinton is Secretary of State, by the way. She's not Attorney General. But suggesting it was Russian collusion, that makes Barack Obama look bad because he's president of the United States. And the Obama administration basically didn't see Russia colliding with the election. Doesn't matter. Hillary Clinton will do whatever she can, say whatever she can to make herself look good. It was Russian collusion. Stacey Abrams said in 2018 she refused to concede the election. She didn't concede the election until weeks later. Jimmy Carter was saying, oh, Brian Kemp didn't legitimately win because of the ballot election law, blah, 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 blah. Okay, doesn't matter. He still won the popular vote. Okay, I guess it's your personal judgment. But at the end of the day, it doesn't stop the president from taking office. Constitutionally, you have the right to challenge election results. What did Trump, what he did was wrong? No, he didn't. He didn't do anything wrong. But Donald Trump being Trump suddenly makes it illegal. Because this is Trump and this is a Republican, we're going to take advantage of this. We're going to make Donald Trump to make out a nosy Karen that wants to make sure that he won, like a sore loser. That's what the left paints him out to be, and that's what most people paint him out to be in this sort of case. But a lot of people, they tend to forget that Hillary Clinton, Al Gore, and John Kerry did the same thing. And supposedly we're all diddly-daddly. We cared less. We were a more united country back then. Well, not 2016, because we thought Hillary was going to win. And the left rage quit because, once again, it's just hypocrisy, guys. So, wrapping up this long video, a very important video on, as you know, what the Supreme Court... I dropped my mouse. And what the Supreme Court is saying. They honestly do not know. That argument has not been heard, but Trump is celebrating, and the liberals are raging because what is going to allegedly happen is the Democrats obviously want to indict this guy. They want this guy in jail in an election. That's not going to happen. How many comments I get that Trump's telling me that Trump's going to go into jail? Well, it's not, because all of that has been halted because the Supreme Court is hearing the issue of does Trump have presidential immunity? That said, the decision could possibly will be announced after your election. What? It's not going to happen before? Of course not. Nope, it's not. Because guess what? This is an important trial, and Trump saying he has immunity, it's going to take a time, and not only that, they're going to wait and hold it after the election. The left is freaking out. And obviously exposes their will. It clearly exposes what they want. They want Trump to be in jail while Biden wins. Pretty obvious. And it's not going to happen. All this for nothing. Cope. L. Like literally. So answer your questions. No, Trump's not going to jail. Why? The Supreme Court has his back. Now, the Supreme Court is skeptical about Trump's claims a little bit. Now, Donald Trump, I think, is responsible for some stuff that he might have to own up to. But his response to the insurrection should not be criticized and should be put into account, telling people to go home via Twitter and actively condemning and refusing to pardon those who committed the violence should be considered in the indictments. Jeez, this isn't hard. And it's the judge that decides. And most of these judges are run by Democrats, unfortunately. But that's what I'm thinking. That's the overall victory of this said. His victory being this said trial is going to happen after the election. We have a 70-80% chance it's going to happen after the election. Maybe when Trump, or as you know, we can't just say Trump, but Biden or the transition period between November and January. That's probably when it's going to happen. But it doesn't matter anymore because the election's over. And therefore, there's no point, right? No point. They think an indictment's going to make Trump go down. You haven't learned, right? You haven't learned. Because 3 indictments, guys. These clowns indicted him 3 times. And he's at 293. 293. Joe Biden's losing historic support. And it's clear as obvious that this guy, Donald Trump, is being rigged. The system's being rigged in the Democrats' favor. And as long as Republicans continue to spread that narrative, like the Democrats spread the January 6th narrative, the Republicans are playing the game. The Democrats' game. Just exploit, I'm going to say exploit, but project the narrative across the country. Trump is being cheated of the system. Here is 5 different ways and 5 different facts and ways and evidence or red flags, whatever you want to call it, that is proof. That is aiming to my argument, proving that will support my argument that why the justice system is wigging against Trump. So anyway, I want to let you guys know, what do you guys think? Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next political episode.